Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. And today we're going to talk a little bit about Mazikeen and Eve. And joining me again, Pastor Brian and Todd.
Hello.
So,
Hello.
this time I'll go to Todd first. So, your thoughts on Mazikeen and Eve?
I liked them overall, but the one thing that just kind of bugged me a little bit was how they handled the scene in the hospital room where Mazikeen was trying to basically give Eve the eternal ring because Mazikeen couldn't handle her ever dying, Eve ever dying, which is a whole nother thought. But they rushed it so much, it seemed like, the after school special kind of thing. It just came across as really kind of hokey and two teenagers in love kind of thing versus the more what they were probably trying to get at, but they just rushed it so fast that yeah. Okay. After school special.
Right.
Yeah, and I agree with that, and I love that you brought up the whole thing about she can't bear with her dying, because I think Martha and I have discussed on this before that like all of a sudden now is when she died. You know what I mean? Like when did she die? When did she not die? Like it's a very confusing thing with Eve about when she's alive and when she dies. You know, it's just very confusing to me. So
I think what we got was that because she was created and not born, I think that's how she explained it, that she has this opportunity to just walk out of heaven that I guess no other human has. Like maybe Adam, I suppose. And so she is able to walk out, and suddenly she's in this tomb in Iran or Iraq somewhere, and then of course somehow mysteriously able to talk her way onto an airplane to get to LA. But
Okay.
So yeah, she's resourceful. Managed to get herself out of heaven, managed to get herself out of the Middle East and to LA, and manages to get herself to Lucifer's club, all dressed up and everything. So she's managed to, do quite a bit without, really having had that much exposure, one would think, to modern society. Although I suppose at some point in heaven, maybe she was, saw it, because she said she always was interviewing the new souls when they would come in so she could learn everything. Because she was bored there. So
that's kind of what added to what Todd's saying about it. Kind of felt kind of juvenile, because it's like, okay, well, but is dying, this is the one person where dying isn't the most absolute thing, right? So it felt a little heightened. And again, I all the time talk about I can't stand any love story that is like, I love you, go away, come to me, okay, I changed my mind. And they did a lot of that with Chloe and Lucifer again in this part of the season, which I absolutely detested every moment of that, because it's like you're literally pretending to be helpless over choices you're making, and that just makes me nuts. So it at least made a little more sense if you take the convention they're speaking about, which was that Mazikeen is terrified of losing Eve, right? But again, because of that Eve being able to come and go, it just seemed like an odd conceit to me.
Well, we've talked before about how in this show our characters seem really, really worried about people dying when they know, as immortal beings, that there's really, like, in a sense, no death, that everybody has a soul except for demons. So, you do move on, you don't end, right? And there is this feeling that somehow that death is an ending when it doesn't have to be, that it isn't for them. Like when Caleb dies and it really upsets Amenadiel that this kid died, why doesn't he just fly to heaven and have a chat with him, right? I mean, it's not like he can't meet the kid again. And he is able to go to hell, since he ruled hell apparently sometimes when Lucifer was absent. So assuming the kid went to hell, he could still chat with him. I mean, it's not like these people are now beyond your reach.
Although that does bring up a point, because that was a threat to Lucifer, that if Chloe went to heaven, Lucifer, that's the only way that Lucifer could be separated from her. But it's the same with Mazikeen. If Eve's in heaven, Mazikeen can't go to heaven and see her. So that is true. I wish they would have articulated that there instead of later with the Chloe Lucifer thing. That would have been placed, because they do prefigure that. So that would make more sense there.
Well, she did. I was going to bring up that point, actually, that, Mazikeen, to me, she was upset in that hospital scene because she knows that, well, she believes that, let's put it this way, when he dies, that she will go to heaven. Although, as we said before, I don't understand why Adam and Eve are in heaven and Abel is in hell. This seems completely backward. If Adam and Eve are the ones who made the original sin and all the rest of us are paying for that, then why aren't they in hell? And Abel, who was killed for being God's favorite, so he's a murder victim, not a murderer. Why is he in hell? Why shouldn't he have gone straight to heaven since he's God's favorite and he was murdered? So sometimes
what was his guilt loop?
Yeah. Well, if the story got it right. I agree with you, Todd. What is his guilt loop? Yeah. I mean, but he is pretty arrogant, right? Like Abel was annoying as all get out.
Yeah.
Although I suppose probably any Sumerian goat herd might be rather annoying in our culture right now.
I don't know if they have an ego that big though. But I did forget how much I enjoyed the character of Eve. Right. Always very enjoyable. Just again well played. I think that's probably a good performance, or maybe directing. It's just her scenes just always are captivating, and the chemistry between her and Maze I thought was outstanding in this part of the season.
She seems to have a lot of chemistry with a lot of the cast, because I remember back when in season 4, when Chloe kind of steps back and she says, well, maybe Eve's right for you, that there was at least one article where the person said, well, Inbar Lavi seems to have more chemistry with Tom Ellis than Lauren German, so it seems to work better for their characters because they just seem to have more on-screen chemistry. And she does seem to have chemistry with Lesley-Ann Brandt too, so maybe it's just sort of that Inbar Lavi is got chemistry with lots of different people. I don't know. So.
And the attractions with her, all those at that time, the only one that made me cringe was her and Lucifer. It was the least believable. I felt like there was the least chemistry when I was watching those. So that could be just me, but I just felt like her chemistry. I feel like her chemistry with women is way stronger than her chemistry with men.
Well, she and Chloe had some good scenes in the episode where they're trapped in Lux because of the guy with the bomb and stuff. So, and he's been shot, so he's sort of lying on the floor and they're having conversations. So, their interactions have been very good too. He's been a pretty cool character. I just didn't understand why she wanted to tempt Satan, basically, to return to the satanic ways of hurting people on purpose and killing people and stuff. And she seemed to take an awful lot of pleasure in then like paralyzing that man. And I was kind of like, she seems like a sweet thing most of the time, but it really seems a little over the edge. She's not just going, hey, we should punish him, but she really then really enjoys the punishment part.
Trying to keep that edginess to Lucifer and also compatible to Mazikeen maybe, but that's about the only reasons I could think about why.
Yeah. Because then when he says, I don't like me when I'm with you, it's like, okay, so she's kind of the one being set up as she's tempting him to be less than he can be, right?
Yeah.
I think that should be like tempting him to be more than he can be because, he's the one who kind of set her free in a way where, she's like, nobody ever asked me what I wanted until he did. So he's acting, he sees something in her I guess others didn't see. He's acting selflessly with her, at least originally, but he's saying, what do you want to do? Not, what I want you to do for me or anything. So one of those times in the past where he seems to have stepped up and done something that's not self-centered. But then she wants him to go around hurting people and she's literally like clapping her hands and jumping up and down over it. Not just like, okay, well, we needed to do that because it was, he needed to be punished. But, woo, this is really cool.
Yeah.
And maybe more people would like that power than we admit, I don't know. I have to say, though, again, Mazikeen drove me crazy in the first half of this season. And I thought her arc was great this season, and really great by the end where she's on the right side, doing the right things, how I would want her to be. So I was very happy with the way they evolved her character this half of the season. And maybe the writers realized that they were doing way too much goofy stuff for her, weak stuff for her in the previous part of the season.
Yeah, I think we discussed that one of our previous episodes, that we didn't think Mazikeen was served very well by the writers in the first half of season 5. She just seemed really whiny And the whole thing with her mother, I just never got that. Why does a demon feel the need that, or the lack of having a mother or a mother figure? You know, demons grow up. I mean, she gives the baby a blanket because she never had one. It's like, I wasn't getting any of that, why that was happening. It didn't make any sense to me. And I also, over the course of the seasons, have gotten annoyed with her sometimes with the will they, won't they kind of thing you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, is she going to be like on Lucifer's side, or now she's mad at him, so now she's trying to kill him again or something? It's like, just just make up your mind. You hate him and walk off, or just be on his side, because I'm really getting tired of this. Now I want to kill you. Now we're okay again. Now I'm going to kill you again. It's like, really, again, I'm tired of this. Can we move on?
Absolutely.
Yeah. They do come back to that trope a lot with all their characters.
The one that sends me most through the roof, right? Like, that one just drives me crazy.
So, but then this season, at least the second half of season 5, she seems more consistent in that she realized that Michael was just sort of scamming her, and so we don't really see her turn away from Lucifer again. And so that was...
And we've spoken before, demons are created beings for a purpose. And it's cool when her allegiance to Lucifer can turn her to what we would consider the good side. That feels okay. But yeah, to like constantly vacillate on what is her purpose when it's like, okay, well, you're a demon, your purpose is pretty clear, and a lot of times it comes out instinctually with her S&M side, but yeah, so I think they've pulled it together. I hope they don't go on that path again in season 6, because I do love her character, and again, I think a great performance as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Todd, thoughts on Mazikeen and Eve?
I ultimately like where it went. They actually seem like they're kind of made for each other, and I'm glad they finally figured things out. So it was kind of sad. It was kind of sad the first time when Eve left, but Mazikeen was always at the wrong end of the stick on that one, but now she's back.
Okay. Well, if you enjoyed this episode, remember to hit like and subscribe, leave us some comments, and we will be back in the future with more episodes of Infernal Intercourse in season 5B. And if we hear anything about season 6, we will let you know. So thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.